Hello, my name is SALAS-MORALES, and today I will be presenting my oral presentation titled A Feminist Look into the Story of an Hour by Chopin. Now, what is feminism? Feminism is a belief in social, economic, and political equality of the sexes. Here's a picture of what feminism is. I chose feminist criticism, which means the feminist criticism looks into the ways in which literature reinforces or undermines the economic, political, social, and psychological oppression of the woman. It is also concerned with less obvious forms of marginalization, such as the exclusion of women writers from the traditional literary canon. Here is a visual representation of what feminist criticism is. As you can see, the man is evolving right here, but the woman is always represented as this housewife that's always cleaning, and well, you can see in the picture. Now, the story of an hour that was written by Chopin, who was born on February 8th, 1850 in St. Louis, Missouri. She married Oscar Chopin in 1870 when she was 20 years old, and together they had 7 children. Unfortunately for Kate, her husband died in 1882 of a swamp fever. To support her children, she began to write. Her first novel, At Fault, was published in 1890, followed by 2 collections of her short stories, Bayou Folk in 1894 and A Night in Acadia in 1897. By 1899, she was well known as both a local colorist and a woman writer. Sadly, Kate Chopin passed away August 22, 1904, at the age of 54. Here is a picture of Kate Chopin. Now, my feminist approach on the story of an hour goes like this. Kate Chopin's story, The Story of an Hour, is an amazing example for the feminist criticism. It was written in 1894, and the story highlights the inequities between the sexes. At this time, women around the world were treated like objects, and most of the time were housewives. Mrs. Mallard, the main character in the story, was no stranger to this topic. She was stuck in her house with her sister while her husband was at work, meaning they were not allowed to have a normal job. After hearing the news of her husband's death, she was shocked at first, but after some time passed, she came to the realization that she was finally free from her husband and could finally live her life. Quoting, she said it over and over under her breath, free, free, free. Also, she was described in the story as a fragile and weak woman, the story saying, great care was taken to break to her as gently as possible the news of her husband's death. And another example of this could be, she was beginning to recognize this thing that was approaching to possess her, and she was striving to fight it back with her will, as powerless as her 2 white slender hands would have been. These examples show how women were seen as the weak sex and men were the powerful ones, but these are just some examples that can give you an idea of what feminist criticism is, but there are many more in this story. Here you can see my work cited, and yeah, that's it. Thank you for your attention.